Welcome to Raft, a new survival crafting indie game released on Steam May 25th, 2018 by Red Bee Interactive and published by Axolot Games. Raft is a simple game with a simple premise. You wake up stranded in the ocean with nothing but a plastic hook on a rope, and from there on you must collect, build, and explore your way through an endless ocean. Without further ado, we're going to get into some gameplay. I'll talk about the progression system throughout the game, give you guys some of my personal gripes with it, what I look forward to being added, and a general review score at the end. Let's set sail. Raft's gameplay is straightforward for a survival crafting game. You start with your hook and you toss it to collect random floating materials out in the ocean. These materials vary from planks of wood, palm leaves, plastic, and barrels. Once you have gathered enough materials, you can start crafting basic tools, expanding your raft, and create basic machines to filter water and cook food. The materials you find out in the ocean can be refined into a higher tier of materials used in later crafting recipes. An example of this would be 2 palm leaves to create a rope, then using the rope to craft a fishing pole. Not only is this game about collecting, but about exploring as well. Abandoned rafts will occasionally float by in the distance, inviting you to come explore them. While most of them are just basic jumping puzzles, the chest on board makes it worth finding. These chests contain higher tier materials you wouldn't normally have until the late game. Along with abandoned rafts, there are multiple islands to be found. Sailing to one and learning how to scale them is an important part of this game. Useful materials align the ocean floor near the island, such as scrap, sand, and clay, which are components to get into the mid-game. Raft makes exploring underwater easy, and it feels natural. Most indie games introduce complicated water controls or change the way the game's physics works when you're underwater. Raft keeps it simple. C makes you go down, spacebar makes you go up, and you have an oxygen meter showing how long you can stay underwater. Your trusty hook from the start of the game is used to harvest the various materials, and fish bait can be crafted to keep the shark occupied while you explore. Progression feels good in Raft. Starting from nothing and building your way to the top has always been a rewarding feeling in survival games, and this is Raft's core gameplay hook, although it is pretty minuscule. While being limited to only a few upgrades, Raft's crafting system actually feels rewarding. Creating the basic grill allows you to cook one small or medium food object. Creating the advanced grill later allows you to cook 3 small or medium objects, or 1 large fish. Water filters come in 2 tiers as well. The basic filter can create 1 cup size of fresh water. The advanced filter can hold up to 4 cups of fresh water, and it takes the same amount of time to turn the salt water into fresh water. The starting tools begin with a wood or plastic form, and later can be upgraded to a metal form. Not only does this increase durability, but for the hook and the spear, it lowers the harvest time by half, and multiplies the damage by 2. Crafting higher tier items and machines isn't the only form of progression. Expanding your raft and decorating make being stranded in the ocean bearable. Once you're in a stable spot to start building walls, stairs, and platforms, your raft really comes to life. Decorating doesn't stop at just building. The game offers an easy to use and fun to find paint system. After harvesting wild flowers on islands, you can refine them into paint globs at a paint mill. Combining colors with a brush lets you use an easy one-click paint-all system. Most of my issues with this game come from lack of content. I don't mean Sea of Thieves level, but more so I can't wait to see what else comes to this game. With only 2 tiers to most of the tools and 2 tiers to most of the machines, the game can easily be beaten within 10 hours of play. While this is an impressive length for an early access game this size, the game may come off as hollow to some people. Once you reach a sizable raft with lots of resources, the initial challenge of the game is gone. There's only one enemy in this game outside of your thirst and hunger, and that is the shark. This is my biggest disappointment with the game. At a certain point, the shark becomes less of a threat, and more of an annoyance as you travel the endless seas. The bigger the raft, the harder it is to hear the shark chomp away at one of your raft pieces. After you obtain the metal spear, it is pretty easy to jump in the water and just kill the shark. Seeing more hazards such as lightning from the storm or rival survivors floating and coming to raid your raft would make the game more challenging. Some of the food seems imbalanced after you cook it. In the earliest stage of the game, the cooked potato and the beet are lightsabers. However, for the amount of energy you spend doing most tasks and something as common as tossing your hook, the beginning cooked food doesn't feel balanced. It actually feels like a waste of resources for such minimal return. Music in this game fades in and out during random times, and this is going to be like a very subjective experience per user. Because at one point, some epic uplifting music cued in while we had discovered our first island. It made exploring it fun, and it felt like we were rewarded outside of just finding the island. There are times, however, where there's nothing going on, you're just sailing and collecting things, and some inspirational orchestrated music kicks in. It's almost more distracting. Is Raft a bad game? No, it's actually really fun, which is surprising for the game's size. With minimal to do and a plot about being stranded in the ocean, the game may initially come off as empty, but with the right people, this game can turn out to be quite memorable. The game also doesn't feel like a $20 game, which is its launch day price tag. I would have felt more comfortable spending $10 to $15 on it. There are definitely better titles on Steam alone that you can snag for 20 bucks. With everything going for it, Raft isn't bad. As of right now, I would give the game a solid 7.5 out of 10. Not because it's not fun, but because of how limited it feels as a player. Once this game gets more content, it easily can rise to a commendable 8.5 or 9 out of 10. So that's my review of Raft. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe for more, and as always, thank you for taking time to watch my video. Smooth sailing to you.